Hey everyone, before Rome, before Athens, before the pharaohs ruled the Nile, there was Sumer, the first great civilization. On the sun-scorched plains of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, humanity took its first steps toward organized society. Here, people transformed scattered villages into sprawling cities. They built temples that stretched toward the heavens and etched the first written words into clay. This was not just the rise of a culture. It was the birth of civilization itself. 5,000 years ago, the land of Sumer was little more than a patchwork of farms and settlements. Small clusters of people grew barley, wheat and dates, while herders moved alongside the riverbanks with their sheep and cattle. But as the rivers flooded and receded, they left behind rich, fertile soil. Agriculture flourished, populations grew, villages became towns, and the first cities were born. Uruk, the city of legend. By 3200 BCE, it was the largest city in the world. 50,000 people lived behind its mud brick walls, a staggering number in an era when most villages held only a few hundred souls. Uruk's streets buzzed with activity, farmers hauling grain, merchants bargaining over copper and lapis lazuli, and priests performing rituals in towering temples. At the city's heart stood the ziggurat, a massive tiered platform reaching toward the sky. Part temple, part administrative center, part symbol of power, the Sumerians believed the gods themselves dwelled in these sanctuaries. The city, they thought, was a reflection of the divine order. And then came the greatest leap of all writing. Around 3100 BCE, Sumerian scribes pressed reeds into soft clay, marking symbols that represented livestock, crops, and goods. At first it was just record-keeping, simple symbols for trade, but over time the symbols grew more complex. Soon they recorded myths, laws and prayers. Cuneiform was born, the first written language. With it, knowledge could outlive its creators. Ideas could travel farther than footsteps. Memory could be preserved, no longer reliant on fragile human minds. But the Sumerians were not just scribes and farmers, they were innovators. They gave the world the wheel. First used on carts and pottery wheels, it transformed trade and transport. Their plows turned heavy earth into fertile fields. Their irrigation systems tamed the wild rivers. They mapped the stars and measured time. They divided the day into 24 hours, the hour into 60 minutes, and in doing so they shaped the very way we see the passage of time. Yet for all their ingenuity, the Sumerians were also warriors. Their cities were surrounded by walls, and their kings led armies into battle. The city-states of Ur, Lagash and Kish often clashed, fighting for territory and influence, but in their conflicts they also created the first legal codes, the earliest laws carved into stone, offering glimpses into their values, rules for property, marriage and justice. The foundation for all future legal systems was laid in the dust of Sumer. But no civilization lasts forever. By 2000 BCE, Sumer was in decline. The once mighty cities weakened by internal strife and foreign invasions. The Akkadians and later the Babylonians absorbed their lands. The Sumerians vanished into history, their language lost, their cities buried in sand, but their legacy endured. The wheel, writing, time itself, these gifts would carry forward, shaping every civilization that followed. The cities of Sumer may have crumbled into dust, but their influence echoes through time. In every contract signed, in every story written, in every hour counted, we are still living with the Sumerians. And the ruins of Uruk still stand, worn by time but defiant, a monument to the first cities, the first words, and the first flickering light of civilization.